Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of DocTalk. I'm Dr. Michael Bracchio here at Velocity Sports Rehab, and in this episode we're going to go over shoulder impingement syndrome. Shoulder impingement is generally caused by repetitive overhead activities. The pain is usually felt either on the top of the shoulder or in the front of the shoulder, and is made worse by overhead activities, either raising your arm to the front or to the side, or doing internal rotation of the shoulder. Impingement of the shoulder generally occurs in what's called as the subacromial space, which is an area between your AC joint and your humerus. There's also a ligament called the coracoacromial ligament, which attaches to a bone just underneath the clavicle. It attaches to the acromion process, which helps define what the subacromial space is. In this space, there are several structures that can become irritated when they're compressed. You have two tendons, which are your bicipital tendon and also your supraspinatus tendon, which is one of your rotator cuff muscles. And then you also have a sac of fluid, which is called your subacromial bursa. Occasionally, bone growth on the AC joint can lead to shoulder pain. This is because the AC joint forms the roof of the subacromial space. So if we have any bone growth formation, or also called osteophyte formation, that intrudes in the subacromial space, we can have irritation and pain in the tissues that are in that space. However, just because there's an osteophyte formation that's intruding in the space doesn't mean that it's sufficient enough to cause shoulder pain. Mid-back adjusting and soft tissue therapy are two treatments that we use in the clinic that can help decrease the pain of shoulder impingement. Mid-back adjusting helps improve mid-back extension, which will help increase the space in the subacromial space, thus helping to relieve any pain with shoulder impingement. Soft tissue therapy to the tissues around the shoulder will help decrease the sensitivity of those tissues so that we can decrease pain and improve range of motion of the shoulder. The rehab portion for the treatment of shoulder impingement really consists of 4 different parts. The first part is improving mid-back mobility. The way that we typically do this is either using a foam roller or a lacrosse ball to mobilize those tissues. The first example of an exercise we would do would be just foam rolling the mid-back to improve extension. The next would be using a lacrosse ball to work on the top of the shoulder and also on the mid-back to improve range of motion in those tissues. The second part of a rehab program for shoulder impingement would involve improving the strength of the rotator cuff muscles. Improving the strength of the rotator cuff muscles will help keep the humerus centered on the shoulder blade as we move the shoulder. 2 examples of exercises that we could do are what's called scaption and then also external rotation of the shoulder using a TheraBand. For both exercises, I like to hold one position with one shoulder while moving the other so that we're working both on endurance and strength of the shoulder at the same time. The third portion of a rehab program for shoulder impingement would involve improving the strength of the muscles around the shoulder blade. The muscles that we'd want to target are the serratus anterior, the lower traps, and also the rhomboid muscles. So exercises that we could do are push-ups with a plus, a Y wall raise, and also a row. These are all great exercises that will target those muscles. The final portion of a rehab program for shoulder impingement would be to work on overhead movements and also improve overhead strength. The first exercise we could do would be a supine floor angel, where we're just working on overhead movements and we've taken out a lot of the stability demands of the shoulder. The next exercise we could do is a wall slide with a TheraBand that'll help increase activation of the rotator cuff muscles by having to push out against the band as we go through the movement. And then finally, the last progression would be to work on an overhead press with load. So we could either load it with a dumbbell or a kettlebell. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of DocTalk. I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.